On April 9, 1865, after a series of big defeats, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his army to Union forces, marking the end of the Civil War. The Union Army marched through the South, enforcing the Emancipation Proclamation as it went. With each stop along the way, Black Americans learned they were officially free. The final holdout was Texas.
Texas is one of the areas of the Confederacy that's least touched by the U.S. Army. And people actually went to Texas hoping that they could continue to practice slavery.
The white plantation owners, many of them are fleeing Louisiana and fleeing other parts of the Confederacy and bringing along enslaved people into Texas.
And so by the time Union forces arrived in Texas, 2 months after the end of the Civil War and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, there were still 250,000 enslaved people there. And that brings us back to Juneteenth. On June 19, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger and his Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and issued General Order No. 3, which said that all slaves are free.
This was the first proclamation that the Union Army was there to protect the freedom of the emancipated slaves in Texas.
They responded the way African Americans did all over the country. They were absolutely elated.
It was a moment of celebration. It was a moment that many people had been waiting all of their lives for.
250,000 people were finally freed in Texas, and across the nation, nearly 4 million people had been emancipated.
They very quickly get to work building the world that is freedom. They move about to reunite their families.
Others wanted to become educated, so they started going to makeshift schools.
People tried to consecrate marriages. Marriage was illegal for people who were enslaved.
Black Americans were claiming the rights they had long been denied.
America was supposed to be a special place, and they simply wanted to be a part of that. As people born in America and people who had contributed so much to America.
But white people had their own ideas of what black freedom meant.
Many southern states issued so-called black codes, restrictive laws designed to basically reinstate slavery under another name.
They clamped down on the freed people to deny them an education, to deny them access to land.
There was violence over almost every area of life.
There were various massacres that took place in Louisiana, in Tennessee. A lot of people got killed. So it was a bloody sort of time.
Black people realized that freedom meant absolutely nothing without the right to protect one's home, to protect one's family. And that's why they're pressing for citizenship rights.